Hello, you legend. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to the 5-day fat loss guide. Today is day one. We're going to be going through 5 days of giving you the information and knowledge that you need in order to apply to your own life and then get the weight loss result that you've been looking for. Not only that, we're also going to talk about how to maintain that weight loss, because a lot of people will tell you how to initially lose the weight, but when it comes to actually sustaining those habits and keeping the weight off, they completely forget about that part, and that's a pretty essential part. So I'm going to take you through my expert tips from 10 years plus as a fitness and nutrition expert in the bodybuilding and lifestyle world. So let's move into day one. Firstly, why should you listen to me? I'm not your average online health coach. I have been in your shoes. I have lived normal lives. I've worked 9 to 5s. I've worked multiple 50-hour weeks even. It's been a busy lifestyle. Everybody has busy lives. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. However, there are things that we can do within these busy lifestyles to still stay healthy, which is an incredibly important part. I've completed in bodybuilding shows, which has taken me down to the extreme levels of very low body fat. This is not necessarily what we're going to be using this information today about getting to single-digit body fat, but if somebody has done the extreme, they usually have a lot of experience with just doing the mundane as well, or doing the slightly less extreme. If I was looking to get a painter into my house to paint the house, I would not be looking at just somebody that's done 1 or 2 paintings. Somebody that's done full murals or like full mansion houses, great, get him into my house. It's not a mansion house. He'll be able to do the job well. Same thing applies here. I've done the extreme, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to apply to your fitness goal as well. So let's move in to understanding the fat loss basics. So there are a number of things which we have to understand about your body, and some of the really basic stuff is just equations, mathematics. I really don't like lots and lots of mathematics. In school, it wasn't my favorite subject, but my life basically revolves around numbers. My training numbers, my clients' training numbers, weight loss, progress, it all comes down to a lot of numbers. And your body is no different. We burn a certain amount of calories, which is your total daily energy expenditure. Okay, we'll go through that in a single second. But first, calories in versus calories out. A lot of people online went through the whole phases of going, calories in, calories out is all that matters. And then the next few months went by and everybody was like, you know, you don't need to worry about calories in, calories out. It's all about eating nutritious food. And I would say they're both right, but they're both wrong at the same time. You need both. You need to have an idea of your calorie intake and output, and you also need to have a healthy diet. That seems rather basic, but a lot of people need that explained to them. So we'll do the fat loss, we'll do the maths for your fat loss. We'll also talk about daily energy expenditure. Hydration is also a huge important part. This is an indirect benefit to a fat loss. So drinking water doesn't directly mean that you're going to be burning more body fat, but it does mean that you're not going to be as hungry, because a lot of the time when we are hungry, you're actually dehydrated. It's also going to mean that you have more energy, because if you're dehydrated, you're tired, you're lethargic, you've not got as much energy. You're also just going to have more brain power to make better decisions. If you are run down, if you're ill, if you're tired, making those good decisions, even though you know that's the right decision to make, is harder in that moment. So let's empower your body by making sure that it's in a good place. Age excuse. This is a huge thing that people go on about. Oh, I've hit my 30s now. I'm just going to be out of shape. Oh, I've hit my 40s now. My metabolism's slowed down. I'm just not going to be able to lose weight anymore. It's bullshit. Your metabolism only drops by 150 to 200 calories from the age of 20 to 40. That's 2 decades. It's only gone down by about 100 calories every decade. That is a minimal amount. The biggest impact to people going, oh, I've aged, I'm now putting on weight, my metabolism slowed down. You're not going out with your friends as much. You're not walking around the house as much, or walking down the street as much, going to mind, going out clubbing. All of these things burn calories. I'm not saying to go out clubbing and spend loads of time at markets, but you're moving. That is the important part of this. Okay, let's move into the secrets of fat loss. So we talked about daily energy expenditure. We also need to talk about a calorie deficit, a very triggering word on social media nowadays. Calorie deficit is what you need to lose body fat, and they're exactly right. It is simpler than you think. Forget the complicated diets and intense workouts. In fact, I would probably steer clear of things like Tabata training, HIIT style training, going and doing these full body afterburn workouts in your gym. They might burn a few extra calories than just a standard gym workout, but what they also do is signal more hormones to make you more hungry. When you exert yourself at incredibly high levels, your body also goes, hey, whoa, 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 let's feed this. Let's feed this high expenditure. Even though you did it for only half an hour, it doesn't matter. You might have burnt, say, 250 calories in half an hour, but then your hunger is higher afterwards and you're more tired afterwards, so you do less. If you burnt 250 calories in an hour or in an hour and a half, you're probably still not going to be too hungry, and you're probably still also going to have more energy to keep doing stuff. So instead of focusing on those like heartburn, the high fat burning workouts, instead focus on movement, like walking your dogs, cleaning the house, being active. Little bits of activity count towards a fat burning workout. As long as you're in a calorie deficit, any movement that you do then becomes a fat loss exercise. So eating less than you burn is proven formula to shedding pounds. It doesn't even need to be said a proven formula, it's just a fact. But with all the moreish and addictive foods out there, it's easier said than done, which is another phenomenon that comes along when you are overweight. Your taste palette changes. You no longer actually find things like vegetables and fruits and things like this that satisfying, because you're so tailored to the high salt, high sugar, high additives foods. And you want those things obviously a lot more. That's how our taste buds change. Understanding total daily energy expenditure, which essentially, this is your metabolism. Okay, that's all you need to think about your total daily energy expenditure as. This is how many calories your body is burning whilst existing. Okay, this could be completely lying down, doing nothing for the whole day. Your body is still going to burn calories. Your heart is beating, your digestive system's going, you're twitching, you're moving. All of these things are going on whilst you are in this state. However, there are other areas that our body is going to be burning calories. You might be thinking, oh yeah, if I do some extra exercise, I'm going to also be burning more calories, which is great and totally true. But the amount of calories that your total daily energy expenditure burns through metabolism, so your body just doing basic functions, is like 80 to 90% of your calories that you'll burn in the day versus going and doing exercise. So just completely hypothetical scenario, somebody's body burning 1,200 calories completely on its own, their extra exercise and movement throughout the day maybe takes that up by 300, so they're at 1,500 calories, and then maybe they do some other workouts or specific exercise and they burn another 150, 200 calories. So they're at about 1,700 calorie maintenance. But the majority of that comes from just existence. Not burning calories by exercising, not burning calories by doing lots of excess movement. Okay? Macros also matter. Protein, carbs, fats are the fundamentals of your nutrition. You also have your micronutrients, which is definitely not something to completely disregard. But when it comes to your initial fat loss journey, I would be focusing on your macros and eating healthy. That way you're going to ensure that you do get in enough healthy vitamins and minerals as well. Okay? The nutrition strategies that I would suggest would be to take your protein to 1 gram per pound of body weight. This is slightly over the recommended minimum, and I do this because there is lots of protein in our food which isn't necessarily productive protein. If you eat a bagel, you're going to have 5 to 10 grams of protein, which is not really going to be used for muscle protein synthesis. Okay, fats are essential for our body. Men, generally between 50 and 80 grams of fat is relatively good. Between 40 and 65 grams for women is also very good. For guys, I wouldn't recommend going below 40. For ladies, I wouldn't recommend going below 35. Okay, those are your good recommended. Once you've worked out your protein and your fats, The next thing is just your carbs, and that is what's going to take you up to your calorie amount. So, for example, myself, if I was having about 2,500 calories and I had 180 grams of protein and then I had 60 grams of fat, that could take me to about 1,900 calories. If I then want to make that up to 2,500 calories, I would add the rest of the calories in from carbohydrates. Okay, so adding an extra 600 calories from carbohydrates would take me up to 2,500. Excess calories causing fat gain, not specific food. Okay, people think, oh, if I eat a donut, that's going to make me fat. It won't directly make you fat. You need to be consuming more calories in order to directly make you fat. I could be in a calorie deficit and eat a donut and not put on any body fat. Plan meals and establish routine with 3 to 5 options in rotation. You don't need to be eating vastly different foods all the time. You don't need to be scrolling through Pinterest looking for meals or going through social media looking for meals to keep it interesting. Most people have 3 to 5 meals that they eat in rotation. Maybe you can think of those 3 to 5 meals now that you normally typically eat. If you swap those out for meals that align with your calorie deficit, the whole process is so much easier. Your basics. Okay, so for me, I wake up, I have sourdough, I have eggs, I have some bacon. That's breakfast. For lunch, I've got multiple options. I could have a prawn stir fry. I could have chicken, potato, and vegetables. I could have chicken, rice stir fry with prawns or chicken, or maybe even make a Subway sandwich style sandwich. For dinner, I could make spag bowl. I could make fish pie. I could make fish and potatoes and rice. I could make chicken and rice. Keeping it simple, don't overcomplicate it, and the whole process becomes a lot more easy to stick to. Okay, ladies and gents, that is day 1. I will see you back here for day 2. See you then.